Look, man, y'all already knew y'all was getting one today, so I don't even know why you acted surprised. We got a hefty freaking update coming up to us in February, y'all. Let's make sure that y'all understand everything that we're getting here, and I'm gonna dive into some things to make some comparisons and everything of the sort. Of course, per usual, I don't just do just straight like headline videos or whatever. No, there's always going to be more in everything that we talk about in here. It's not just gonna be just run down. Let me just recap everything that happened in the freaking NGS headline. No, bro, I ain't gonna do that. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's not how I work things. Y'all know that. Come on. But anyways, there's a lot here for us to dive into. Going to be pretty good, pretty exciting. February's actually looking pretty nice. So be sure to like, subscribe. Helps out tremendously. Thank you very much. Mwah. So first and foremost, just out the gate, we do have the new depths that are coming out for the Ruined Masquerader, the Fictitious Dream, which come out as of today, as of the 28th of January. So we do have those new depths. With that will be a camo as well that you can use. We actually knew about this prior because there was an article on Dengeki that stated that we were getting this. So we knew about this last week, but this is confirmation, and there will be a camo for it as well. We're seeing a lot of these depths being released in February. They're all getting released in February, so we'll recycle back to that in a little bit. But let's jump into the first foremost thing, which is Vael. Dark Falz Vael is going to be released this month, February. There's going to be the Urgent Quest version, and then there's going to be the Trigger version of it. Now, the Urgent Quest version is 8-man version, and I'm not sure what the Trigger man version is going to be, if it's going to be 8-man or 4-man. Hopefully it's 4-man. But we'll see what happens. Nonetheless, the Urgent Quest is going to, of course, have Mars implementation in it. So you do need to have access to Mars. If you have not gotten to that point in the story for Mars, then you cannot do this. That is a requirement. Understand that. You will be using your Mars, which is very great. And this is also tied into the story, which is good. We knew that this was going to be tied into the story beforehand, but confirmation and clarification is good. This will be tied into the story, so this is why it's being released as an urgent quest first, as that's how it usually works. When it's tied to the story, it gets released as an urgent quest first, and then it's released later on in some other way, shape, or form. So that's what's happening with Vael. Now, there are a few important things that do drop within Vael that we'll kind of circle back to, because these are things that you definitely need to understand. But first, before we get to that, also coming on the same day, which is the 5th of February, is the level cap increase and the Hunter reworks. This is I wasn't sure how this was going to happen. I kind of figured, because I was really like, dude, I don't know what order they're going to put this in, if they're just going to all drop it together, because it kind of felt like they were going to drop it all together, but I was kind of expecting them to maybe stagger one of them, but they didn't. They just put it all together. So we're getting the 100 level cap increase, we're getting the 100 rework, and we're getting Vael. These are all on February 5th. That we're getting these. So the level cap 100 is going to be obviously noticeable, because we're getting some new weapons and some new units with that as well, which is kind of why I figured, which is why I was kind of like, okay, well, I know that we're getting new weapons, new units with Vael. I knew that was going to happen. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, well, how are they going to, that's why I felt like everything was going to be implemented at once, or like it was hard for me to kind of determine which one was going to be left out, and it looks like they just toss everything in. But along with the level 100 cap increase, we do get the 100 rework, which I'm very much looking forward to, because we all know, I love how during the headline they were using wires. It's like that's my weapon right there, dude. Like a lot of hunters use sword and stuff like that. I'm a wires player. I've always been a wires player on Hunter, so that's very exciting. But wires, sword, partisan, they're all getting a little bit of loving going on there. Potency increases, reworks of things of the sort, photon blast skills, all the things of the sort. So this is just right around the corner. So for the start of February, it's already looking great, already looking Gucci. The Gucci, nah. Bam, 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 mama. Another one that they slid into this also that you may have not really caught during it is that all class skills will have a 10-second cooldown at the beginning of fights now. So here recently they've changed that for a handful of classes on the reworks, like for Force and for Tekker. They changed that for like for the Shifted D-Band. Shifted D-Band used to be more, but now it's 10 seconds flat when you start a quest or whatever. So now they're making that universal across the board. So all skills will have that cooldown of 10 seconds. So everyone benefits from that. Now to recycle back and talk about these weapons, that's why we took a halt real quick. But to recycle back, this is the Akro Selio. which is a 12-star weapon, and it is the new upgrade path for the Selio. This is also the final upgrade path for the Selio series. So we knew that this was coming. We figured that this was coming because when the 12s were announced and whatnot, the way that they worded things in that headline when they announced those, it gave the implementation that these weren't done being upgraded. And I mentioned this back in that video, however months ago, 2 months ago probably that was. I mentioned that, I caught that wording, and I was like, okay, yeah, the way they worded that seems like these are going to be upgraded further. And so it appears that these are the final upgrades for this. But for comparison, because I'm sure a lot of y'all are wondering, okay, where's this at? So they clearly stated the Akro Selio will be more heavy hitting than the 12. It is the best 12-star weapon. However, they also stated because of its potential, the 12 will still be better in party play, which obviously makes sense because you get potency increase for downs with the 12. So both of these weapons are still very viable. The 12 is still going to be the better option in party play, whereas the Akro Selio straight out is going to be your heavy hitter. Now, for comparison here, you will see that the Selio has an 855 attack, base attack, flat, and a 12 has a 945, with an Akro Selio having 950. So it's 5 more over the 12. But obviously, that's a huge jump from the Selio to the Akro Selio, putting in the range of that 12, which is why we've talked about the 12 before. The 12 is clearly the strongest weapon. It has been over Selio by far. But this puts the Akro Selio right there on par with it. Just in these different situations, the 12 might outpace it, or the Akro Selio might outpace it. So it gives you options here. But of course, Akro Selio, the level up materials for it are going to only be from Falz Vael. So this is the kicker right here. And this is great that they did it like this because this gives incentive. So you want to be catching these urgent quests. And then afterwards, there will be a trigger quest. But you can only get these trigger quests in the upcoming LTQ, which we'll touch on. But nonetheless, the Akro Selio weapon series is coming, is right around the corner, will be here, and the level up materials are only from the new Vael urgent quest. To coincide with the release of this, Crimson Realm will be active in Stia and will rotate between Dex and Nusen as it did last time. This will only occur for 1 week. This is pretty much a great time to be trying to go out and, if you really need to get like Evolu Volts and Exodus, whatever they're called. If you really need to get those, maybe you're a new player, maybe you just got lazy, maybe you don't heed what I say and take advantage of campaigns. So then you put yourself in these situations where now everything seems difficult when nothing in this game is actually difficult if you just take advantage of campaigns. But either way, Crimson Realm is going to be here for that regard. And if you want to go in there, just get items, get items, get items, get items. Because that's what Crimson Realm is great for. So this will be here for just 1 week. It'll be one and done. We'll rotate between Dex and Nusen. So keep that on your calendar as well. Then here's a big one though, baby. Here's a big one. We have the personal shop from 30 to 50. Now we also get some storage stuff here, and we're going to tell you the exact numbers here. So we don't have to go searching for it, digging for it. We're going to tell you exactly what you get. But nonetheless, personal shop from 30 to 50. They mentioned that this was coming. This is very, 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 very nice. We are looking forward to this because this really adds an extra 20 slots that allows you to have more stuff up there. Sometimes things take a long time to sell, so this allows you to have more things up there and allow that selling, allow that Meseta to flow in like the Nile River or something like that. It allows the Meseta to flow in a bit more seamlessly, have more items up there, can make more Meseta. Speaking of more Meseta, there's a lot more Meseta that's coming, but I'm jumping around, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But nonetheless, also storage increases that we're going to have. So across the board, we're going to have storage increases for 3 in specific. Character storage is going to receive, wait for it, 1,000 increase. Character storage is going to increase from 1,000 to 2,000. Yeah. Okay. And temporary quest storage is going to increase from 100 to 200. We're not done. Mission pass storage is going to increase from 300 to 400. Yo, We eating good right now, y'all. We eating good. This is very huge. These inventory increases are very huge. I always love more inventory. In every game, dude, I always love more inventory. I think probably because I hoard items too much, quite frankly. But dude, honestly, with these items too, you know, them items be taking up space. I have like so many different items that, you know, cause I get them and then I usually don't sell them. I just kind of lock them in a rainy day fund because I play so many classes, right? Speaking of so many classes, you know, imagine not taking advantage of all these boosts that we had and these enhancement campaigns that we had, and, you know, not leveling up your Tricelio weapons or getting high fixes when you have the chance, because now you're about to upgrade them to a new 12-star weapon, but you didn't take advantage of that. So now you're upset because you didn't listen to me. But anyways, nonetheless, that's neither here nor there. These storage slots are going to be huge, absolutely huge. We're looking forward to this. Wasn't expecting them to drop such a bomb, especially the 1,000 to 2,000. That was kind of like, bro, okay, I see you, bruv. I see you, bruv. Let's go ahead and let's get it in, and yo, yeah. And a little small thing that they added for, I guess, for kind of newer players is a recommended content selection. So this will appear at the top right of your screen after you reach a certain point in the story, and pretty much this kind of guides you on what you should be doing. So as you kind of see here, there's an example where it says like deck space R2. So this kind of helps because I guess it can kind of get confusing sometimes when people don't know, okay, well, what should I really be doing right now? And so this will kind of clarify that, kind of help you to guide you as to where you should be going, maybe recommended content for you. So I thought this was pretty neat. This really helps out. I know they put a heavy emphasis on casual players. So this is an emphasis on casual players. Like, obviously for me, I'm like, okay, well, damn, but I understand that for some people, they just really need the handheld. And this helps out. This does help out. So also to add for line strike players, to introduce a new method, a new battle where you can fight Victoria, which is an NPC battle, but it's supposed to be a bit more difficult as well. So if you really want to test out some new stuff, you have that as well. One thing to note is that they have changed it so that whenever there's sales in the AC shop, it will show an icon sell for that section of the menu. One thing to note here, even if you're not trying to purchase anything from the AC shop, you should go and click on this whenever this is active. You should go and click on it regardless, because every day just by going to it, you can get 2 NDX cubes for free. And there's no reason not to do it. No, sure, maybe you have a whole bunch of NDX cubes already. There's no reason not to get 2 free ones just for clicking on the menu. There's no reason to. Now, I always talk about taking advantage of these things because you'll be glad that you did in the long run. This is one of those moments. You just click on it. It takes all of 1 second, and you get 2 NDX cubes. There's no reason not to. So whenever you see the sell thing going on during that campaign, click on it. You get 2 NDX cubes per day. Easy. Now moving on, remember I mentioned the new LTQ that we're getting. This is going to be a brand new LTQ in Lower McQueen, and you're going to fight ruinous bosses. Ruinous, yeah, not Rooney. It's like ruin, but I mean it's Rooney on the boss, but the ruinous. It's Rooney with an E, but it's ruinous bosses. Anyways, you're gonna fight ruinous bosses within Lower McQueen, and then it will conclude with you all gathering together and fighting a big boss. So this is a new LTQ that we're getting as well. And the really important thing to note from this is that the trigger quest items for the Dark Falz Vael fight drop in here, and only in here. So remember, Dark Falz Vael is the only method to get the Selio weapon materials, which means you will need this to get triggers to farm Dark Vael to get materials for your Selio. So this LTQ holds a very strong importance. They don't drop directly from the LTQ, at least that's from what they said. He was pretty clear with it. He said it drops only from the urgent quests from Dark Falz Vael. So he was pretty clear with it. So you should not see these from the LTQ. They only drop from Dark Falz Vael. So you want to be farming this LTQ for those triggers. If anything, I'm sure these triggers will be sellable as well. And let's be honest, people want this weapon. So if you want to make some Meseta, you can also sell these triggers. Now, during this period, Depths 7 and 8 of the extra dual quests, the Masquerader, are going to appear. However, don't really worry too much about these. Later on in the month, however, we're going to get 9 and 10, and these will also give another camo as well. So it's going to give a camo of like the super form. So this is going to be something to note as well. And if you're wondering, like, oh, dude, well, it's just more extra dual quests. They specifically state within the headline, because they noted that, oh, these dual quests were a little too easy. These extra duels for Masquerader were a little too easy. So they specifically noted that they realized that, so that they ramped these things up. They claim that these high level ones are going to be actually worth the difficulty, high difficulty category that they are placed in. Now, will they actually be that difficult? I mean, only time will tell. I mean, what's really difficult? Let's be honest. I mean, hopefully they are. You know, we all know I love super difficult content. You know, like I'm the type of, remember, I'm the person who's like, yo, give me one of these guys, give me like 3 Raisetsus, give me a Kelkundo, and then make it like a 5-minute timer, and you can't take more than like 1 hit of damage or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's me. and then it changes every run. Like the patterns change every run and stuff like that. So we like you can't go in there and just like repetition and repeat it and then just like learn it. You know, it's like every time you go in, it has to be like fresh. Like, bro, like anyways, nonetheless, they set up the difficulty for these later versions of Fictitious Dream of the Masquerader are supposed to be heavily difficult because they acknowledge how easy the lower level ones have been thus far. So apparently they're trying to ramp it up, but we'll see how far that actually goes. Or we'll see. We're probably still gonna clear it first try, right? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. But do remember that 7 and 8 come on the 11th, and then 9th and 10th come later on in the month. Now, speaking later down the line, the second half of the month is going to introduce a handful of things as well. Starting out with my sweet baby Leciel. Oh, Leciel, you done came in here, you done poured me a cup of tea, and now you're asking for my goodness. Woo! Anyways, Leciel is going to be very notable as well because, well, I mean, just straight to the point, this is also we're going to go for new armor. Okay, and we're going to dive into that because new armor is more than just new armor this time. But nonetheless, Leciel's going to have a new sector as well. It's going to have some new buffs, and the Ruined Griffin's going to be added as one of the bosses for the end as well. But the new armor, which is the Akro stasis, upgrade from the Tristasis, is going to be what you want to note here. Of course, it will have, you know, the HP, the PP, defense, damage, resistance. But this is the sweet baby finale. So that means it gets a 6.5 potency. 6.5. We're getting a potency increase, baby, on the armors. We're getting a potency increase on that final armor, baby. 6.5. Let's go. Let's go. So this is the first upgrade to the new to this new star series of armors. So we will be getting these items drop from Leciel. So you want to be running on Leciel to get these new armors. These will also be the easier ones to get versus getting the Akro Selio weapon. The Akro Stasis armor is going to be your quickest bet to really increasing your damage, your output, whatnot. Okay. Speaking of damage and output, we have the LARZE class augments. They're just tossing things at us at this point. The LARZE class augments are pretty much think Anadi augments, but not Anadi. So that means they can be paired together. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right. So we're getting a new Anadi type augment. Let's call it the LARZE class. They're going to have increased potency floor, but they're going to pack that same potency punch. And they can be paired with Anadis. So I'm guessing, and by the way they describe this, they're probably going to be like Anadis in the sense that you only need one as 100% rate. So we in business, y'all. We are in business right now. February is going to be a hell of a month for augmenting, for gearing, for boosting. And hopefully this is all necessary. Hopefully, like, they're throwing this out just because, like, yo, this Fictitious Dream stuff, this rank, 9 and 10 are actually going to be maybe difficult. Maybe they're actually throwing this out for a reason. Maybe. Hopefully. Probably not. Unlikely. No. But nonetheless, we are getting this augment, this LARZE class augment. So definitely look forward to this. I'm looking forward to it very heavily so. definitely be looking forward to this. I did also want to give a nice little shout out to this Mount Beast bow camo. And of course they have these Mount Beast knuckles, but the Mount Beast bow camo, I want to give a special shout out to this because bow doesn't get a whole lot of love. And I thought that this camo looked pretty cool. So I just want to just toss that in there. Just that way y'all see it. You know, just in case. Just in case. And so now remember that these are the final upgrades for the Selio series. This is made very clear. These are the final upgrades. So for the Selio, the Tristasis being upgraded to the Akros, these are the final ones. That's why we're seeing the potency increase on the unit as well, and the strength of the weapon. So these are definitely the ones that you want to be going for. These are going to be strong. This is going to be worth your while. And remember that these materials only drop from Dark Falz Vael and from Leciel, weapon and unit respectively. But what you should not remember is this guy right here getting upset about the response not getting read. So it's like, yo, dude, I've been up on X all night, popping these NGS headline responses, putting you on hashtags. I put you on like 30 different hashtags, man. And y'all never answering my questions. Y'all never answering my questions. Why didn't y'all answer my questions? And so, yeah. But really, their response here was actually well stated. The response here was pretty much, yo, the reason why. So they're saying that it's hand select. You know, they hand select the questions, of course, and they focus on things that are going to be implemented, you know, soon in the coming months or whatever that they're working on. So the reason why not every question is, you know, pulled or whatever, is because they want to give accurate information. They don't want to just like pull this question and then give a response, and there's not really a response to give. Like you don't want to give a response where you're not telling us anything, right? Like, oh, when are we going to get a new planet? And then they're like, oh, well, we got this question. I don't know. No one wants to hear that, right? No one wants to hear I don't know as a response. You feel me? No one wants to hear that. So that's why we're not seeing that. That's why we don't get that. But someone was upset here. Don't be this guy. They gave a very solid response, so I think I'm okay with that. They also didn't mention that they're going to be releasing or that they're working on a future where you can search for weapons by the series. This is actually very useful because this is very annoying, especially when you're looking for like maybe fodder material or things of the sort, where you know you want to just look for, you know, a 12 or whatever, but you can't do that. You have to look for 12 knuckles or 12 twin machine guns or 12 saber. You know, there needs to be something where you can just look for 12. So that's what they're saying here, and they're saying that they're going to implement it similar to what we got for the EX elements. We just put a question mark and then it pulls up everything. So this is not implemented yet, but they're working on that in the future. And I do also want to note that someone asked here about this easy photo mode. I'm not really going to talk about this. I just want to say that they gave a response and they said, be mindful of others when using this because you don't want to ruin the experience of other players. You know how I always talk about this, about not ruining the experience of other players. Stop thinking so much about yourself. Think about everything that's going on around you as well. You know what I'm saying? So they're kind of emphasizing the same thing I'll be saying about that. You know, you do these things are in the game, but always be mindful of not interrupting the experience of others. You know what I'm saying? When you're in party play, unless you have the consent of everyone in that party to be knocking off and doing dumb stuff or doing this, then you shouldn't be doing it because you should be mindful of others. It's a real simple concept, y'all. It's not rocket science. Get your jam on, y'all. We got some music gonna be going on here on Spotify, and you're gonna be able to get your jams on all these musical platforms. You're gonna be like, oh, boogie time. It's a boogie time. Listen to some NGS with the boogie mind, with a boogie rhyme. Anyways, you can get your jam on. This is an option here as well. I also found that this Central Volume 3 with original items that can be used in NGS was pretty neat. So you can actually purchase this for, as you see, the listed price, and you can actually get in-game items and a little map for Line Strike as well by purchasing this. So I thought this was actually pretty neat for anyone who's interested in that. But the big thing here is these freaking big bang scratch tickets, y'all. These are new scratch tickets that are coming to the game. Gold and silver tiers. Silver is going to be permanent. Gold is only going to be at specific times or whatever specific moments that you can get. but gold is going to have some crazy freaking goodies in it. And we're talking some crazy goodies in it. There's going to be a new introduction of gamma reactors, which is 10 million Meseta, which can be gotten from these golden scratch tickets. 10 million Meseta. 10 million Meseta. So, even for comparison, beta reactors are 100K. That's very huge. There's also armament transfer passes in these. That's very huge. And I can only imagine how much other stuff is in these. And so for the silver one, it's going to have lots of these goodies in it as well, but lower tier versions such as beta reactors and armament pass vouchers. Yes, when I said the armament pass transfer pass, the armament transfer pass, I never said vouchers for the gold one. I said armament transfer pass, like the whole thing, flat out. All 100 vouchers. The whole thing. The silver one gets the vouchers. Yeah, bruv. Yeah. And so if you're wondering where you can get these are going to be implemented at certain times, at certain periods. Firstly, starting off is on the 5th of February. You can get 5 of these babies for doing Dark Falz Vael. So you do Dark Falz Vael Urgent Quests, you can get up to 5 of these for doing Vael. Pull your luck, see if you get something good. Maybe you get 10 mil, maybe you get a freaking armament transfer pass. Boy, if I get an armament transfer pass from one of these scratches, I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness, good lord. Even though I don't really need one right now, because I think we have like almost 300 vouchers right now. But still, it's just nice to have regardless, just in case I want to in the future, right? Just in case, just to have it there. So that way, when we get like some new stuff, so that new, that no, you know, that no, then we'll be good to go. You know, you already know what it is. Let's go. But the gold scratch ticket, that's very huge. I was very excited by this, to see this popping up. New scratch with some crazy freaking rewards in it. To really go into February with the Ultra PSO2 days and triple days and all that stuff, all the PSO2 Ultra bursts and stuff, or whatever the hell they're called, that we have during February. You can also get another one of these from clearing out the reward box, which also starts on the 5th. So we have the reward box returning. And if you clear this baby out, you can also get a golden scratch ticket from this. Now, they also listed that the reward box is going to have more items that will be sellable. So, you know, in the past, they've kind of had items that weren't, like, maybe like a few items that were really sellable, but now they will have more items that will be sellable. So if you want to sell them for Meseta, then you can. So I think that's a nice improvement. Most people will probably agree. That's a nice improvement to have the option to sell a lot of that reward box stuff, but also there will be a gold scratch ticket there waiting for you after doing all of it. And so Ultra PSO2 Big Bang Burst will of course be at the start of the month, and then it will resume again on the 21st per normal. But you definitely want to be looking forward to this with all the goodies that we have ahead of us. Nonetheless, 6.5% potency on the new units, new weapon upgrade, and we are eating good. The depths are coming. 9 and 10, supposed to be difficult. We'll see how difficult they are, and we will cover all of it. So we will be covering every single bit of it, best believe. Anyway, this about wraps it up for this one. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know what you think about not getting your questions answered through the NGS headline. Sorry to hear it, bro. Like I said, I think that was a pretty good response by them nonetheless. But I mean, it's obvious. I mean, anyways, let me know what you think down below about all of it. Vael, the weapons, the units, all the above. Of course, I always love engaging with the community, with the comments. So let me know. Be sure to like, subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Much love. Holla.
Spike content.